You absolute connoisseur of comfort. Right now, your chronically lazy self looks at a 5 a.m. alarm clock like it's a medieval torture device. You think hitting snooze is self-care? Newsflash, buttercup. The real prison is the one you built out of memory foam, extra pillows, and pathetic excuses. You're trading your life's potential for an extra 20 minutes of drooling on your mattress. Discipline feels like punishment right now because you're weak. But stick around and I'm going to show you how that exact same discipline turns into the ultimate freedom. Wake up. Chapter 1. Motivation is a fairy tale for the weak. Let's get one thing straight right out of the gate. Motivation is a scam. It is the absolute biggest, most widely accepted fairy tale of the modern era. It is Santa Claus for adults who are too terrified to do a push-up. Right now, there is an entire industry making billions of dollars selling you the idea that you just need the right pump-up playlist, the perfect morning coffee blend, and an inspirational quote over a picture of a lion to get your life together. Absolute clown shoes. You are sitting around waiting for a magic lightning bolt of energy to strike you from the heavens before you start working. You think you need to feel inspired. That right there is the battle cry of the eternal loser. The average guy looks at his sneakers, looks out the window at a light drizzle, and says, "You know what? My vibes are just a little off today. I'll conquer the world tomorrow." Give me a break. Tomorrow is a mythical land where 99% of human potential goes to die. The disciplined savage does not care about vibes. The disciplined savage goes to the gym, opens the laptop, or makes the sales calls just because it's a Tuesday. That is the only reason required. The calendar says Tuesday, so we put our heads down and we work. It's not about feeling ready, it's about executing the plan. Listen to me closely and write this on the inside of your eyelids. Feelings do not pay the rent, actions do. Let me repeat that until it permanently alters your brain chemistry. Feelings do not pay the rent, actions do. Your landlord does not care about your emotional state. The bank does not accept deposits of good intentions. You have a choice. You can sit on your ridiculously soft sofa waiting for the stars to align, or you can build a rocket ship out of discipline and fly to the stars yourself. That's the key. But let's diagnose the sickness. Why do you lack this imaginary motivation in the first place? Let's look under the hood of your brain. Honestly, it is a miracle you can even tie your shoes, because your brain is completely fried. It is battered, coated in digital grease, and deep-fried from endless doom scrolling. You wake up, grab the glowing rectangle from your nightstand, fold your spine into the shape of a cooked shrimp, and blast your retinas with dancing cats, fake influencers, and absolute garbage before you even brush your teeth. No wonder doing hard work feels like trying to move a mountain with a plastic spoon. You have entirely hijacked your own reward system. You are giving your brain dessert before it has even looked at the vegetables. When you flood your system with cheap, unearned dopamine, a spreadsheet or a pair of dumbbells looks like a medieval torture device. You must starve your inner dopamine junkie. You have to lock that little gremlin in a cage and throw away the key. You have to reset your baseline and make effort feel normal again. If the work is easy, it is actively making you soft. It's not about being endlessly entertained, it's about cultivating relentless discipline. Put the phone in another room. Go sit in silence. Stare at a blank wall until doing your taxes or going for a run seems like the most thrilling roller coaster on planet Earth. Starvation brings clarity. When you remove the cheap thrills, the hard work becomes your only source of satisfaction. You have a choice. You can be a slave to the algorithm, or you can be the master of your own attention. This brings us to the ultimate behavioral shift, the action-first protocol. Stop listening to your feelings. Your feelings are a terrible compass. They will tell you to eat a whole pizza at midnight and skip leg day. You must completely bypass the negotiation department of your brain. Action does not follow motivation. Motivation follows action. You have the entire equation backward. You sit on the couch waiting to feel like going to the gym. You will be waiting until you decompose. You must drag your physical body across the starting line, even if your brain is kicking and screaming the entire way. Treat your physical body like a stubborn piece of heavy machinery. You are the operator. Pick yourself up by the scruff of the neck and throw yourself into the driver's seat. Do the work first. Force the movement, and guess what happens? The motivation magically shows up 20 minutes into the workout. You start sweating, your blood starts pumping, and suddenly you feel like an absolute gladiator lifting iron. You didn't feel like a gladiator on the couch. On the couch, you felt like a mashed potato. You only felt like a warrior after you picked up the heavy thing and put it back down. Action creates the emotion, period. Do it tired. Do it angry, do it annoyed, just do it. When the alarm goes off, your brain will try to present a perfectly logical PowerPoint presentation on why you need more sleep. Ignore it. You don't need their permission. You don't need society's permission, you don't need your buddy's permission, and most importantly, you don't need your own brain's permission to move your legs. Your legs work fine. Stand up. Walk out the door. It's not about finding motivation, it's about forging ironclad discipline. The people who win in this world are not the ones who always feel like working. They are the ones who work even when they feel like absolute garbage. They recognize that motivation is a fair-weather friend who abandons you the second it starts raining. Discipline is the loyal attack dog that stays by your side through the hurricane. Stop waiting for the fairy tale. Wake up, put your boots on, and do the heavy lifting. You now understand that waiting for motivation is a fool's errand. But understanding the problem is only half the battle. Now we have to talk about the conversations you're having with the enemy inside your own head. Chapter 2. You are not a hostage negotiator. Stop bargaining with your laziness. Let's paint a picture of a daily tragedy. It is 5 a.m. The alarm clock shatters the silence of your bedroom. This is the exact moment the war is won or lost. But instead of leaping out of bed like a man on a mission, what do? You instantly become a hostage negotiator. You start talking a terrorist off a ledge, trying to reach a peaceful resolution. But here is the brutal, darkly hilarious truth. The terrorist is just your own weakness, wearing your favorite pair of pajamas. You start bargaining with the enemy. If I skip the shower and eat a granola bar in the car, I can sleep for 12 more minutes. Absolute clown behavior. You are negotiating with a version of yourself that wants you to be broke, out of shape, and spectacularly average. Stop treating your inner lazy voice like it has a seat at the boardroom table of your life. It does not. That lazy voice is an unpaid intern who brings nothing to the company but bad ideas and donut crumbs. Kick it out of the room. Let's talk about the snooze button. The snooze button is the absolute worst way to start your day because it teaches your brain right out of the gate that your promises mean absolutely nothing. Think about it. The night before, you were a visionary. You set that alarm with purpose. You made a binding contract with yourself to wake up and conquer. But the second you reach over and smack that snooze button, you take that contract, tear it into 1,000 tiny pieces, and throw it in the trash. You have surrendered your dignity, your ambition, and your integrity to a 4-inch piece of cheap plastic. How can you expect to conquer the business world, or get your finances in order, or build a physique made of granite when you can't even win a fight against a digital clock? You can't. It's not about being tired, it's about cultivating discipline. It is about honoring the contract you made with yourself. Then comes the great delusion, the just 5 more minutes lie. This is the greatest scam ever pulled on the human race. Ask yourself right now, has anyone in the history of human existence ever built an empire, written a masterpiece, or changed the world in those extra 5 minutes of semi-conscious, drool-soaked, fragmented sleep? No. You are not getting deep restorative REM sleep in those 5 minutes. You are just marinating in your own failure. You are essentially speedrunning a nightmare where you are always behind schedule. Those 5 minutes are a gateway drug. It starts innocently enough. You procrastinate your wake-up time. Then, because you're running late, you procrastinate your morning workout. Then you procrastinate that difficult conversation at work. Before you know it, you have procrastinated your career, your relationships, and your entire existence. You will blink, turn 80 years old, and wonder where your life went, all because you kept pressing a button for 5 more minutes of fluffy clouds and nothingness. You have a choice. You can wake up and build your life, or you can go back to sleep and dream about someone else building theirs. That is the only menu available. So let me give you the ultimate cheat code to bypass this pathetic morning ritual. Write this down, tattoo it on your forearm, and repeat it until your vocal cords give out. Don't ask your brain for permission. Give it a direct order. Let me say it again. Don't ask your brain for permission. Give it a direct order. Your brain wants comfort. Your brain wants to conserve calories. If you ask it, "Hey buddy, do we feel like getting up right now?" it will laugh in your face and pull the blankets up to your chin. You don't need their permission. You don't need the blankets' permission, you don't need the mattress's permission, and you absolutely do not need your own marshmallow-filled cranium's permission to put your feet on the floor. This brings us to the ultimate behavioral shift you must make today, the Dictator Protocol. You must rule your mind with an absolute iron fist. Right now, you are acting like a substitute teacher trying to quiet down a rowdy classroom of middle schoolers. Please guys, come on, let's go to the gym, pretty please. I'll buy us a smoothie afterward. It is pathetic. The kids are throwing spitballs, playing on their phones, and ignoring you completely. That is what your impulses are doing to you. You are not a substitute teacher. You are the undisputed 4-star general of your life. When a general gives an order, there is no debate. There is no town hall meeting. There is no suggestion box. There is only immediate, violent execution. When a task appears on your schedule, you execute it instantly, completely bypassing the negotiation phase. You leave zero breathing room for whining excuses to form. If the schedule says 5 a.m. run, you run. If your brain says, "But it's raining," you reply, "Good, then we will be wet while we run." If your brain says, "But my legs are sore," you reply, "Good, then they will be sore while we run." You shut down the negotiation before it even opens. You slam the gavel down. Court is adjourned. That's the key. The moment you start conversing with your laziness, you have already lost. The laziness is a master debater. It will present a perfectly logical, beautifully articulated PowerPoint presentation on why you should stay in bed. It will bring up your health, your stress levels, and that one article you read 3 years ago about the benefits of rest. Do not look at the presentation. Throw the projector out the window. Start practicing the Dictator Protocol today. When you know you need to do something uncomfortable, give yourself a 3-second countdown. 3, 2, 1, move. Do not allow a 4th second for the excuses to infiltrate the system. Act before the laziness realizes you are awake. You have a choice. You can be the hostage, tied to the bedposts of your own weakness, praying for a rescue that is never coming. Or you can be the general, commanding your physical vessel to storm the beaches of your goals. Stop negotiating. Stop whining. Stop hitting snooze on your potential. It's not about the alarm clock, it's about the discipline of keeping your own word. You've learned to stop bargaining with your laziness and to conquer the morning. You've successfully escaped the mattress. But do not celebrate just yet, because the house you are standing in is full of traps designed to keep you weak. Chapter 3. Your comfort zone is a beautifully decorated graveyard. Let's take a little guided tour of your living room. Look over there in the corner. Look at that plush, oversized, cloud-like sofa. It looks like a spectacular place to relax after a long day of doing the bare minimum, doesn't it? It has cup holders, it has memory foam, it reclines. Let me burst your beautifully padded bubble right now. That piece of furniture is a velvet-lined coffin. Your comfort zone is a beautifully decorated graveyard, and your endless binge-watching habits are the shovel you are using to slowly bury your own ambitions alive. Comfort is a silent killer. It doesn't announce its arrival with a warning siren. It sneaks up on you, wraps you in a heated blanket, and gently whispers that you have plenty of time to chase your goals tomorrow. But a perfectly comfortable man is a stagnant man. If you are perfectly comfortable, you are slowly rotting away. You are sitting there, perfectly climate-controlled, sipping on a 0-calorie, artificially flavored sparkling water, swiping a piece of glass with your thumb. You are spending the absolute prime years of your life watching other men achieve greatness on a screen. You are spectating human existence instead of stepping into the arena. It is an absolute tragedy. Listen to me. If you aren't sweating, you aren't growing. If your heart rate hasn't spiked, if your muscles haven't burned, if your brain hasn't hurt from solving a complex problem today, you have wasted 24 hours of oxygen. The modern world has engineered a reality where you never have to be too hot, too cold, too hungry, or too tired. And it is turning you into a room temperature bowl of oatmeal. You have a choice. You can let modern convenience domesticate you like a lapdog, or you can release the wolf. It's not about avoiding nice things, it's about the absolute discipline of never letting nice things make you soft. This brings us to a fundamental law of the universe: the 2 flavors of suffering. Here is a brutal reality check that no one wants to admit. You are going to suffer in this life, no matter what you do. Suffering is the mandatory tax you pay to exist on this spinning rock. But you have the ultimate power to choose which flavor of suffering you consume. You better pick your poison carefully. Flavor number 1 is the pain of discipline. It tastes like sweat, early mornings, calloused hands, and skipped desserts. Flavor number 2 is the pain of regret. It tastes like bitterness, jealousy, unpaid bills, and missed opportunities. Which one do you want? Because the pain of discipline leaves you with a shredded physique, an iron mind, and a stacked bank account. The pain of regret leaves you sitting in your stained underwear at 2 in the afternoon, angrily typing complaints in the comment sections of successful people's videos. Let me give you a phrase to permanently install into your mental operating system. Choose your hard before hard chooses you. Say it out loud right now. Choose your hard before hard chooses you. Being chronically out of shape is hard. Lifting heavy weights is hard. Choose your hard. Being broke and drowning in debt is hard. Building a business and sticking to a budget is hard. Choose your hard. Having no skills and no respect is hard. Spending thousands of hours mastering a craft is hard. Choose your hard. If you do not choose your hard, life will assign you the worst possible version of it. That's the key. You must preemptively attack the suffering before it corners you in a dark alley. How do we do this? How do we escape the plush graveyard of the comfort zone? We use the necessity of forced friction. You have to purposefully inject chaos and discomfort into your daily routine. You must act like a mad scientist who is actively trying to test the structural integrity of his own mind. You wake up and instead of taking a hot, steamy, relaxing shower where you can sing your favorite pop songs, you turn that handle all the way to the blue side. You step into the freezing, breathtaking, absolute misery of cold water. Why? Because you are sending a direct message to your nervous system. I am the one in charge here, and we do hard things before the sun even comes up. You lift heavy iron until your muscles scream for mercy. You run until your lungs feel like they are filled with battery acid. You fast until your stomach learns that it does not dictate your schedule. You must actively break yourself down on your own terms. You must forge yourself in the fire of your own making. Society will look at you like you are completely unhinged. Your friends will ask why you are waking up at 4:30 a.m. to run in the freezing rain when you could be sleeping. Ignore them. You don't need their permission. You don't need society's permission to be a savage, and you certainly don't need the permission of people who are perfectly content being average. Let them enjoy their velvet-lined coffins. Let them enjoy their flavored water and their endless scrolling. You have an empire to build. If you do not voluntarily break yourself down on your own terms, I promise you, with absolute certainty, the world will step in and do it for you when you aren't looking. A health crisis will hit. An economic collapse will happen. A tragedy will strike. The world will blindside you with a devastating right hook. And if you have spent the last 5 years marinating in your comfort zone, your glass jaw will shatter into a million pieces. But if you have been voluntarily sparring with discomfort every single day, you will take that hit, spit out the blood, smile a terrifying smile, and ask the world, is that all you've got? You have a choice. You can be the hammer or you can be the nail. Get off the sofa, turn off the television, seek out the friction. Go find the heaviest, most difficult, most uncomfortable thing in your immediate vicinity and conquer it. You've learned to escape the physical graveyard of the comfort zone. You've hardened your body and chosen your struggle, but none of that matters if your mind collapses at the first sign of a ruined latte. Chapter 4. Emotional Control. How to Stop Crying Over Spilled Almond Milk. Let's talk about your feelings. Actually, let's talk about your spectacular, breathtaking lack of control over them. We live in an era of absolute, widespread emotional fragility, and frankly, it is embarrassing to watch. Right now, there are grown men walking the earth, men who share exact DNA with ancient battle-hardened warriors who hunted woolly mammoths with pointy sticks, having a complete and total mental collapse because the barista put regular milk in their iced coffee instead of oat milk. They are literally crying over spilled almond milk. It is a tragedy of modern biology. Let's do a quick diagnostic test on your emotional thermostat. If a minor traffic jam on your morning commute sends you into a spiraling rage, you are weak. If a delayed text message from a girl ruins your entire afternoon and sends you into a state of deep philosophical depression, you are fundamentally unequipped for reality. These are not epic, historically significant tragedies. You are not starring in a Shakespearean drama. Your Wi-Fi dropping out for 12 minutes is a microscopic speed bump on the highway of life. It should not even register on a strong man's radar. Stop acting like a dramatic soap opera star when life hands you a mild inconvenience. The universe is not conspiring against you. The universe doesn't even know you exist. You have a choice. You can let every tiny gust of wind blow you over like a house of cards, or you can build a foundation made of concrete. It's not about the delayed text message. It's about the absolute discipline of your emotional state. How do we fix this constantly leaking faucet of emotions? We install the Stoic filter method. Let's break down the anatomy of an insult, a failure, or a stubbed toe. Between a triggering event happening and your reaction to it, there is a magical, fleeting millisecond of time. In that tiny sliver of a second, you must make a monumental decision. You must decide if you want to act like a king or if you want to act like a toddler who just had his favorite shiny toy taken away. A toddler screams, kicks the floor, and lets the chaos completely hijack his nervous system. A king sits back on his throne, raises an eyebrow, and observes the chaos without ever letting that chaos enter his bloodstream. That's the key. You have to learn how to watch the circus without volunteering to put on makeup and be one of the clowns. When the world tries to drag you into its messy, chaotic, completely useless drama, you must aggressively deploy this phrase. Write it down. Starve the drama, feed the discipline. Say it with me out loud right now. Starve the drama, feed the discipline. Say it one more time so it echoes in your skull. Starve the drama, feed the discipline. Here is your real-world behavioral instruction. The next time someone cuts you off in traffic, your primitive monkey brain will tell you to lean on the horn, tailgate them, and scream wildly inventive insults at their bumper. Stop. Use the filter. Breathe in for 3 seconds. Does screaming change the past? No. Does it magically clear the traffic? No. It just spikes your blood pressure, floods your body with stress hormones, and makes you look like an unhinged lunatic. Starve the drama. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, and feed the discipline. You have a choice. You can let a total stranger in a beat-up sedan control your emotional baseline, or you can retain your absolute power. Keep your power. Now let's escalate the situation. Let's talk about mastering the poker face. I am not just talking about burnt toast and traffic jams anymore. I am talking about when things go catastrophically, undeniably wrong. You lose the biggest client at your firm, the engine on your car blows up, your business takes a massive, unexpected financial hit. Real disaster. Your default response should not be to panic. Panic is a highly expensive luxury, and your bank account of mental toughness cannot afford it. Panic is for the passengers in the back row. You are the pilot flying the plane. When the dashboard lights up with bright red warning signals and the alarms start blaring, you do not throw your hands over your eyes. You deliver a cold, calculating shrug. You master the poker face. The world deeply respects the man who can smile, roll up his sleeves, and get to work while holding up a collapsing roof. When everyone else around you is running in circles like decapitated chickens, you become the eye of the hurricane. Calm, deadly, focused. You survey the damage, you identify the next logical step, and you execute. Your co-workers will panic. Your friends will panic. Let them. You don't need their permission to remain completely unbothered. You don't need society's permission to be calm when everyone else has chosen chaos. When people expect you to join their useless pity party, politely decline the invitation. Tell them you have a roof to fix and get to work. It's not about suppressing your emotions like a mindless robot. It's about the absolute discipline of channeling that raw emotional energy into productive, violent action. Anger is fantastic energy. Frustration is premium fuel. Do not waste that premium fuel on complaining to your steering wheel. Pour it directly into the engine of your ambition and press the gas pedal to the floor. You have a choice. Be a helpless victim of circumstance, or be the cold, calculating architect of your reaction. You've learned to build an impenetrable fortress around your mind. You have starved the drama and mastered the filter. You are no longer a slave to your impulses or your environment. But all of this mental preparation is leading up to the final, unavoidable invoice. Chapter 5. Pay the toll now or work the toll booth forever. Listen up, because we have arrived at the final invoice. We have diagnosed your lazy brain, we have fired the hostage negotiator, we have escaped the plush graveyard of your living room, and we have built a concrete filter for your fragile emotions. But none of that matters if you do not understand the fundamental economics of the universe. Life is a massive, unforgiving highway, and right in the middle of it is a giant toll booth. You either pay the toll of hard work up front, or you will be forced to wear a miserable little fluorescent vest and work inside that toll booth for the rest of your natural life. Let's talk about the power of compounding discipline. Going to the gym one time is a cute fluke. Waking up at 5 a.m. for a single week because you watched a motivational video is adorable. I will give you a slow, sarcastic golf clap. But doing the hard thing every single day for 5 years, that builds an untouchable, bulletproof empire. Your bank account understands the concept of compounding interest, but for some reason, your brain refuses to apply that same math to your daily habits. That initial punishment you felt on day one, the burning lungs, the sore legs, the absolute mental fatigue of staring at a spreadsheet, eventually morphs into the ultimate freedom. Why? Because while you were laying bricks every single day, 99% of the population was hitting the snooze button and complaining about the weather. You have completely outworked the competition. I need you to drill this phrase into the deepest part of your subconscious. Discipline is the only bridge between the swamp and the castle. Say it out loud. Discipline is the only bridge between the swamp and the castle. Right now, your lazy self is sitting in the swamp. It's warm, it's muddy, and it smells entirely of rotting potential. You look across the water and you see the castle, the physique, the wealth, the respect. You cannot swim there. The water is filled with the alligators of distraction and failure. You have to build the bridge, one agonizing plank at a time. It's not about finding a shortcut, it's about the absolute discipline of laying the wood down every single day. This leads us to the biggest misunderstanding in modern human history. Redefining freedom. If you ask the average guy on the street what freedom looks like, he will describe a beach chair, a tropical drink with a tiny umbrella, and doing absolutely nothing until he dies. That is not freedom. That is a vacation commercial for lazy people. True freedom is not the absence of work. True freedom is the absolute power of choice. That's the key. Because you suffered under the heavy barbell for a decade, you now have the freedom of supreme health. You aren't a hostage to an oxygen tank or a pharmacy counter at age 60. Because you suffered at your desk, eating stale rice and beans while building your business in the dark, you now have total financial liberty. You don't have to grovel to a middle manager named Greg for a 15-minute bathroom break. You have a choice. You can clock in to build your own dreams, or you can clock in to build Greg's dreams. The guys who chose the easy road, the guys who took the path of least resistance, who watched 8 seasons of a TV show instead of reading 8 books on finance. They are now trapped in a fluorescent cubicle cage of their own making. They are entirely dependent on a system that doesn't care about them, living weekend to weekend, drowning in credit card debt, furiously waiting for a 2% annual raise. They refuse to pay the toll up front, and now they are working the toll booth. You do not want to be the guy in the booth. You want to be the guy in the armored tank blowing right through the barricade. You don't need their permission to be wildly successful. You don't need Greg's permission to start your own company, and you don't need society's permission to completely abandon the miserable average script they handed you at birth. And here is the most beautiful, darkly hilarious part of this entire process: the final shift to pride. If you follow this protocol, I promise you a biological miracle will occur. One day very soon, that 5 a.m. alarm will ring and you will not even flinch. The hostage negotiator will be dead and buried. You will throw the blankets off, put your feet on the cold floor, and you will smile a terrifying, chaotic smile. You will actually crave the grind more than you crave the rest. The friction will become your favorite flavor. You will step into the freezing cold shower and you will laugh. You will lift the heavy iron and you will feel an overwhelming surge of pure, unadulterated pride. And in that moment, you will look back at your old, pathetic, lazy self. You will look at the ghost of the guy who used to cry over spilled almond milk and negotiate with a piece of plastic on his nightstand. You will laugh out loud at how astonishingly weak you used to be. You will realize that the pain of discipline was never actually a punishment. It was just the entry fee. It was the VIP ticket to greatness, and the bouncer at the door was just checking to see if you had the guts to pay it. It's not about avoiding the pain, it's about the discipline of letting the pain transform you. You have a choice. You can remain the weak, fragile, comfortable spectator of your own life, or you can step into the arena, pay the iron toll, and build the castle. The bridge is waiting. Grab your tools and get to work. You have mastered the lessons, you have paid the toll, and you have built the bridge. Now there is only one thing left to do before I let you loose on the world. Listen closely to these final orders. All right, listen up. We've covered a massive amount of ground today, and your inner couch potato is probably begging for a nap right now. Too bad. Let's recap this brutal reality check. Motivation is a fairy tale. Act first, and your feelings will catch up later. Stop negotiating with your laziness like it's holding you hostage. You are the absolute dictator of your own mind. Remember that your comfort zone is nothing but a beautifully decorated graveyard, so grab a shovel and dig yourself out. Keep your emotions in check, starve the drama, and feed the discipline. And finally, Pay the toll of hard work today, or I guarantee you will be working the toll booth of mediocrity for the rest of your life. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. Here is your challenge. Tomorrow morning, when that 5 a.m. alarm screams, do not think, do not bargain. Put your feet on the cold floor and march into battle. Subscribe to the channel, drop your excuses in the trash, and go get it done. Dismissed.